So an employer doesn't need to advertise for every role that they're filling. They can essentially employ anyone that they want. However, if they want to avoid any issues later with discrimination or something like that, they might want to go through that interview process. So in an interview, an employer can't ask anything that could be taken as a discriminatory question. So important things to avoid might be asking someone if they've got kids, because the assumption might be that they won't get the role because they can't fulfill the hours, asking someone about their age, asking someone about previous injuries. The only exception to the injuries one would be if it was an inherent requirement of the role. So there's no prohibition on contacting a candidate's referee without their permission. Employers just got to assess whether that's the right way to start off an employment relationship. So when contacting a candidate's past employers, an employer can really ask whatever they want. Now those ex-employers might limit what they say to the circumstances of their departure and their service, but really an employer can ask what they want about performance, about personality, any information that the ex-employer is going to give them. It's not illegal for an employer to give a bad reference about a past employee. However, they just need to make sure that they stick to the facts. And so if they give an honest reference, if that's a bad reference, there's going to be no issues. The main difference between a casual employee and a part-time employee is that a part-time employee works set hours, accrues annual leave, accrues sick leave, and also is owed notice on termination. Whereas a casual employee has none of that, but they get paid a higher rate. So they get paid a leave loading to offset against those entitlements. So when an employer is choosing between a part-time or a casual, they need to think a lot about what the needs of the business are. So a casual employee is truly casual. They work on a roster, their hours might change from week to week. There's no issue with that person cancelling a shift at late notice. Whereas a part-time employee is required to be there set hours each week. There is no roster, there's an expectation that they'll be there and they'll be there without being told. So an employer should think a lot about what they need. Do they need someone there the same days each week? That person's a part-time employee, even though that comes with obviously leave entitlements like annual leave and sick leave, that person's a part-time employee. If someone genuinely wants someone to work a few hours one week, more hours the next, end their employment at short notice and have no issue with that employee, taking themselves off the roster, then they want that genuine casual arrangement, then they employ them on a casual basis. So an intern is someone who's essentially engaged for their own training or education benefits. They can be paid or unpaid, but they don't qualify for an employment rights. So if an employer is engaging someone really to give value to the business, they should engage them as an employee.